Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Just kind of gonna free ball it, and if you've read the title, you can see it's about MiniCuts. So basically, I was working one of the festival ships. You'll see one of my other videos about bartending at festivals. Kind of break that down a little bit. Sometimes you get stuck on something called stock. I got stuck on stock at Dom Dollar in Sydney in the Domain. So this essentially meant for 8 hours I was carrying cases of seltzer and Jack Daniels and stuff like that, beers, back and forth from some fridges at the back of the bar to my station of the bar, getting ice, crushing it. It was a pretty horrendous day. Like, there was just like this thick kind of mud that you're kind of just trekking through while you're going to get some ice and whatnot. But I burnt so many calories. I was in a bulk for the last few months and it was going really well. Even the last hours was really strange for working at a festival, but they made us put away all the tables for the bar, and we had to pack something else away. But basically, we were packing stuff onto pallets. Like, it was very labor intensive, and they only picked 7 of us, and we're all dudes, so we kind of just copped it. But it is what it is, Volunteered to make some money, so that's kind of on me. But I burnt 5,500 calories that day. I even got a double quarter pounder meal from McDonald's on the way home with nuggets, because I was I'm really trying to hit my 200 grams of protein. Made sure I had carbs and protein and stuff, like Cliff Bar, whatnot, protein bar throughout the day. And I just still couldn't meet the calories. And then the following day, because I kind of got home so late, kind of shifted my whole routine out of whack. I definitely couldn't eat as much as I needed to that day as well. So for 2 days I was maybe between 1,000 and 3,000 calories behind on where I should be to kind of even maintain at that point, because I was exercising a lot, burning a lot. I was kind of eating around that maintenance point, but I was feeling really good. And then I discovered MiniCuts on YouTube. Maybe a day, maybe on the Sunday. So the festival I worked at on the Saturday, discovered MiniCuts on the Sunday. Monday I was kind of man, I just can't eat this much food, it's just insane. So what do I do to stay maintained for that week or whatever? Nah, gotta do something, you gotta progress in some way. Probably should have maintained, but in saying that, it's good to give something else a go. So MiniCuts are supposed to be good, so that you can kind of get your kind of insulin sensitivity back to good levels. A lot of people use it to get their hunger back during a bulk as well. So I'm eating 4 times a day, and I was enjoying the amount of food that I was eating. But then when I would train extra hard or do some cardio or whatnot, I'd have to add even more kind of carbs, bigger rice packets and more oats for dessert, that kind of stuff. And it can get a bit tedious, because I'm not trying to just put fat in my diet or just drink a can of Coke so I can increase my 150, 200 calories, whatever it is, and get extra carbs in. But yeah, so the appetite thing wasn't the biggest problem, but that's what some people can use it for, as well as it's kind of taking a step back during your bulk so that you can take 2 steps forward. So you kind of trim a little bit of fat in a very short kind of period of time, so that you can continue for a longer stretch to bulk. I was probably bulking for a couple of months, probably could have left it a bit longer, but then with the drastic decrease in calories, I also knew that I was working a festival the following week. Didn't know what they were going to put me on or whatever, but I know that I'll burn just from I ended up walking from where I parked the car to the festival entrance for the workers. And that was already a 20-30 minute walk, a brisk walk, plus then walking to your station, and then you break, you're walking, and it's kind of walking home, whatnot. So I figured, let's try this MiniCuts. So did some more research. You kind of do a 25 to 30% deficit. The idea is that you do it for 2 to 6 weeks. Some people don't really see results in 2 weeks. Some people can't handle going for more than 3 or 4 weeks, because it's a big kind of shock to the system. What I will say from my experience is, don't start it the week when you're cycling off the test boosters. So I went from feeling great, eating heaps, having all these carbs, training intensely, or I'm grunting and stuff, to kind of like a mini depression, like sadness. Like I couldn't open a jar of pickled mustard, and like just even like little things like that would just make me feel like, man, I'm so weak now. But that's not meant to happen on the MiniCut, so that could have just been me and how I kind of organized my diet. I'm still trying to hit 200 grams of protein a day. Probably could have dropped that down a little bit, and it also probably doesn't need to be that high in the bulk, but I'm able to do it comfortably with the bulk. But with this MiniCut, I was dropping from about 2,900 calories to maybe about 2,000, and I just didn't have that energy to kind of do extra exercise and like lift heavier and lift longer and that kind of stuff too. So in future, I think I'll probably eat more, but I'll just have to exercise even more. I also tried to do it by cutting out carbs from my diet. So for breakfast, I have egg whites, kangaroo sausage, and a thin pork sausage, and pieces of toast while I'm bulking. When I'm not bulking, I was like, oh, I'll just cut the 2 pieces of bread out. There's 200 calories. There's a bunch of carbs I don't necessarily need. I'll have a banana as my pre-workout. Gonna get some fiber and all that kind of stuff. And then, I'll have some rice and mince after workout to kind of put the glycogen back to the muscles. And then I'll skip on the carbs at dinner, and I'll drastically reduce the amount of oats that I put in my dessert. I have to kind of have those 4 meals to hit that 200 grams. Otherwise, like, do that in 3 meals, we're getting 70 grams of protein per meal 3 times a day without kind of like just reverting to triple scooping your protein powder 3 times a day, so like 9 scoops or whatever. By reducing the carbs, it's obviously not as big of a deal at night time, so like the dinner, but I kind of felt reducing it in the morning did make a little bit of a difference, as well as just eating less, obviously. But the enjoyment of food, it kind of goes up because like you're kind of hungry because you're in a cut and you just want to eat. But at the same time, I'll show you the breakfast that I have when I'm cutting, and I'll show you the breakfast that I have when I'm bulking, and I'll put those 2 on the screen now. I even had it today, like with the bread, it's just so much nicer. I think I just really need carbs. I just really like carbs. I think I need them though for better digestion, but that's a separate kind of thing that I kind of observed in the 2 weeks. It was a good little experiment. I suppose everyone's probably like, oh, what's the results? Whatnot. So I'll show a little clip on the screen. These are my like knockoff Fitbit scales. So I've had them for like quite a few years now, so I feel like they're kind of a bit sketch. Could also just be fluctuations in body weight and salt retention, so that affects salt intake, affects water retention, that kind of stuff. So I kind of started on 85 kilos at about 23.8% body fat, and I lost heaps the next week at 83.9 kilos. So I lost it's over a kilo. The intention was supposed to be about 1% of body weight per week, or between 1 and 2 actually, so I was kind of aiming for like 1.5, but I was happy if it was even just like a kilo. So that was pretty good to 23.3%. Then when I weighed myself at the end of the MiniCut, like I said, I did have kind of an excess of salt the night before, and like sometimes you can't always like alleviate your bowels before you kind of weigh yourself. That's the best time to weigh yourself, so consistently in the morning before you eat, before you've had water, just after you've gone to the bathroom to kind of empty everything out. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. When I weighed myself, it said that I was 84 kilos, and I was like, kind of believe that, because I was doing a lot less exercise, like cardio. I was still going to the gym, I was still doing yoga, I did some cardio, but I just didn't have the energy to just kind of keep going and just push through and just burn. But then I weighed myself again, like after I peed. Should not make this much of a difference, and I said that I was 82.7 kilos. Highly doubt that I lost 1.5 kilos from peeing. It's possible, but I really doubt it. Then I weighed myself today, which is the day after the end of the MiniCut. And then it said that I was I think it said it was about 84 point something. Which kind of made sense with yesterday's first weigh-in. So, okay, so yeah, probably lost maybe just under a kilo in 2 weeks. I was gonna try and do the 3 weeks because it's 3 weeks leading up to Christmas, so I can just kind of I'm not gonna cut during Christmas. I don't recommend that anyone does that. I think if you come from kind of a European family or an ethnic family, and there's just always going to be heaps of food, and people cook, black people still alive to cook, and they cook really well. I don't think you should be cutting during Christmas. I think you can cut New Year's, and that's why like gym memberships skyrocket and New Year's resolutions and whatnot. But yeah, so I was like, maybe I'll do a mini cut 2-3 weeks before Christmas. I couldn't make the 3 weeks, I don't think. I really need these carbs. But yes, I started the test boosters again, take some time to take effect again, all that kind of stuff. I just want to get back to where I was feeling really good. I was eating often, but then I was also kind of burning often, because my body's always constantly processing food. And I just had the energy to just kind of drive through my workouts, and like, I was happy to go do a workout and then cardio and then, whatever. Add some extra sets, add some extra exercises. Some of that's probably mental too, because I know that if I'm in a cut, all you're doing is trying to preserve your muscle mass rather than grow your muscle mass. So why do any extra kind of volume? But yeah, good experiment nonetheless. Still lost some weight. Hopefully it's not all water. I don't have any kind of progress videos to kind of show you the difference, but like I said, it was only 2 weeks, not too drastic of a difference. I think I'll save this for maybe 6 months down the road, or maybe just even like just do a proper cut next time, kind of reduce it by a couple 100 calories a week rather than like 1,000, like just off the bat. But like I saw an opportunity and had to kind of seize it and kind of give it a crack. That's what the best way to learn things. Like, sure, you watch a video and you like hear something, like retain the knowledge or whatever, but then actually doing it. I just really like carbs, and that's what I learned from that. And that it helps me like digest food better, and that helps me digest my supplements better. And that kind of helps me feel better, and that helps me train better, and it helps my mood. So it's kind of all of the above, and also just like eating food helps your mood too, even if it's healthy food. But yeah, so that's the mini cut from my experience, and keen to get back onto the bulk. And Christmas is coming up, getting a lot of food, gonna keep bulking, hopefully gonna keep training through Christmas. Bit of a different style of video today, but yeah, part of the self-development journey, and hopefully you've taken something away from this. There's a great video on MiniCuts by Renaissance Periodization, which is Dr. Mike Israetel's company, channel, whatever you want to call it. And you could also just kind of like just search up, I think it was like Muscle and Fitness or something. It was like the article that I read that was pretty much the same info, but like heavily broke everything down. Definitely plan this out in advance. Would be my advice if you're going to do a mini cut. Know how much you're eating, know how much you're burning, know how much you're going to reduce it by. Figure out a way to kind of keep your mind in check with, if you do lose strength and muscle, the intention of the mini cut is that you don't. It happened to me. Yeah, or if you just want to lose weight, just, like I said, just go for the 150 calories a week down. Do that for a couple of weeks, and like 150, 200. But also, like, I might make a video in the future, but if you eat the same kind of things all the time or often, you can make little substitutions to kind of reducing the amount of calories or increasing the amount of calories. So opt for a leaner cut of mince or a fattier cut of mince, depending on what you want. Add a bigger packet of rice or a smaller packet of rice. Add another piece of toast, take a piece of toast away. Okay, yeah, I think that wraps everything up, and thanks for watching, and have a great day. Remember to up your life.